So Leopard, how you doing?
Great.
Excellent.
I've listened and heard of Destiny Community Podcast since forever, but I never got invited because it's uncool and unpopular streamer.
It's about time we change that.
Right?
Yeah, it's about time. We've known each other for a long time. And it's
I've been attracted to Tess' voice since I can't remember.
Well, thanks, Leopard.
Honestly, Tefty's who's been keeping you off of the show. He's just so damn jealous of that green screen.
True.
His green screen's nice. Tef's got
Tef,
manila
is that your
screen.
actual green screen behind you?
Yeah, you don't see it on stream, but these guys see it in Discord, and it's actually fabric.
Why is it two-tone?
It's two different colors of green screen.
It's just a bunch of yellow Post-it.
It works.
Put all over.
The reason why I actually have two pieces of fabric that are different colors is because I had a one size of a green screen, and then we moved, and then I wanted to be able to have the entire wall green screened. So I went down to Joann's Fabrics, where I buy all my green screening material, and got what I thought was the same exact color green, and it wasn't. Here, in fact,
it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I can't tell.
Leopard's is way better.
Leopard's.
So let's just focus on the important
It's next
details.
level. I'm going to turn off my green screen so people can see on the video for a moment.
Oh no,
that's ghetto. My God. So you can judge. You can cast extreme judging eyes at my green screen.
I don't see a difference. Honestly,
the illusion has been ruined. Yeah, exactly. All right, well,
it looks like Tefty smokes a lot near his green screen.
Looks like it's weird.
It's got like a
turn it around and blow
it's
the
green
smoke
to
right
me.
at the wall.
A yellowed.
You know how
aged.
Yeah. So, anyways, your green screen game is next level.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the only thing above average about my stream and me.
So yeah, do I get to grill Leopard?
You do.
Not that everybody's not.
Grill him? Wow, he's all right.
We're gonna have grilled Leopard tonight.
You brought me
all right?
Please, yes.
That sounds
Bring me down a notch.
Take some pressure off of Briar getting eaten.
Yeah, but that was one of my first questions. Oh God, that goes back a few episodes. We did discuss who was going to eat who. Three episodes now, or 2 back from here. Anyway,
like Leopard. Cannibalism.
If you got stranded somewhere, we said like, who would you eat, right? And there was some other questions like.
It's been going on for a while.
The whole cannibalism side of it. We've moved past it, and it's
what kind of podcast?
It's not really called cannibalism to us anymore.
I haven't moved past it.
Yeah, so that was one of the first big questions. Was Leopard? Have you been on the show? But Tefty already took care of that one. This is your first time.
It is
awesome. Yeah, I'd only been on once before, and then it was like several weeks ago, just since there was a couple slots. Fallout was on, and so it's been awesome to mix the crew. But they kind of have me just in the beginning help, or just I like to talk, so ask questions.
He's steering the ship for us,
I guess so.
Well, they realize
the interview
that me and Tefty cannot conduct an interview.
Nah, it's just
so we had
you guys totally
help.
can.
We have too many tangents, man. Too many tangents.
The tangents.
Yeah.
Yo, I got a cool Leopard story. You guys
oh yeah?
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know if he remembers this.
Putting my faith in you.
I can't remember if it was a year or 2 years ago, but
2 years ago, I remember.
I
know where you're going.
Oh yeah,
he was nice. This was at Guardian Con in Florida, and that was 2 years ago. It was the first time that I had been given a creator pass. I had done really good work that year, I guess. I was like, "Ooh, made it to the show," and they were like, "Do you want to be part of the table where?" People line up, or the meeting.
I know where you're going. I remember this. This haunts my memories.
It haunts. You must be thinking of something mildly different. Because
I
remember I was nervous, and I was like, yo, who is gonna want to like nobody knows me. I'm gonna be like, I think they had me next to Dado or something like that, or like everyone's gonna want to meet Dado. No one cares. And I went up and spoke to you because I had watched your stream before. I told you I was nervous. Right. You were like, yeah, man, it's all good. Like the people, they just want to like talk to, like you made it to the creator pass, so people like they're gonna know who you are. Relax, like it's gonna be fine. Don't be like I don't know why I was like really nervous about it. He calmed me down, a pat on the back, and then we shot the shit about some other things, and I had a great day.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I was like, this guy's all right. I like this guy.
Guardian Con is like that is one of the best places because you get to meet all these people you're familiar with. I think I've met many of you there now, but also just all of the Guardians out there. That's what it's about. It's not even about the tournaments and the games. Like certainly that's the core of some stuff to do, but just honestly just talking to people and hanging out. But so back to Leopard. Last year, I was checking your Twitter out. I'd been following you for years now, but I never realized that I don't know when I caught it, but that you were moving to be a full-time streamer, and you quit your job last year. Is that what happened? And now you're a full-time streamer?
That is correct. So for 11 years, I've been a software developer.
Wow.
In the prison industry. So we make
interesting
software that manages offender data. And for like the last 7 years, I've been working on a very specific software that calculates inmate release dates for the state of California. And we took their legacy system from like 30% accuracy up to like 99% accuracy. And
hold up. There was a 30% accuracy on when inmates were getting released?
Well,
in the software.
Yes, but in the software, there's audits in place. There's human checks to make sure these people don't get out early. Just the automated system was not very accurate. So we came in, and after 5 to 7 years, I improved that up to 99%. And it was a fun job, very challenging, but it's just not as fun as, playing video games all day. And so I'd been streaming since 2014 with Destiny 1. And I eventually talked to my wife, and she has been pushing me to try to do this full time forever. And finally we took the plunge once we have enough money saved up. On December 31st, I'll quit my job. I gave them like 4 months advance notice. Told them I would try this for 6 months. So we're now 4 months in April. And
good for you, man.
In July, we'll see if the money makes sense, if I have enough support to continue. And currently, I'm not sure if I do, because it's just it's tough. But I'm much happier now, even though I know I'm making less money, but I am much happier, much less stressed, because I'm just playing video games all day, talking to community.
Yeah,
money isn't everything. I mean, it's a cliche,
no, it's not at all.
It really is true.
Yeah. Similar story. Yeah. I had left my job last year not to pursue full-time streaming. You're more brave than I am. I'm still kind of feeling out those things, but it is
well, I have a wife that makes way more money than me, so it's a lot easier.
Stick with it. That would help. Then we're going to decide now. You've got longer than July, dude. You got longer than July. You at least go till Christmas. Give yourself the stress-free, and you're going to make it too. You got over 50,000 followers on Twitch already, right? So great. It's
great.
Awesome.
I wish she could just make enough. If she could make enough money for me to just not make money at all, that'd be great. But she's really slacking, and
tell your wife to pick it up.
She sounds like she needs to work more while you stream more. Everything will work out. So what's your, if people haven't checked you out yet, a couple things. When do you tend to stream? Do you have a schedule? And what's your hook? What do people expect when they come by?
So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Leopard Stealth. On Twitch, I'm Leopard. I stream every day Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. Eastern to 5:30 p.m. So 10-hour stream, and then normally that's it.
Wow.
And on the weekends from 7:30 a.m. to around 2 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 kids, so we try to schedule it so it's like I'm helping get the kids ready in the morning, and I get them home from school at night or in the afternoon. And it's just what makes the most sense for us. Just one day stream, long haul. And so originally back in 2014, I just played Destiny on and off. Probably like 1 to 2 days a week as far as streaming. I played it every day, but as far as streaming is concerned, I could only stream it like 1 or 2 days a week. But with going full time and how I'm not into Destiny 2 as much as I was with Destiny 1, I play a plethora of games now, and anything from Fortnite to Apex to Sea of Thieves to Division 2. I've been playing Destiny 2 the last couple weeks just because I knew this podcast was coming up and I didn't want to be a total Destiny noob. And so I upped the Destiny content a little bit for the last couple weeks. So I'm like over 690 light. I played a lot of Revelry, but normally I'd probably default back to Fortnite because my sort of shtick is I have this thing called Backseat Gamers, which is where I make fun of myself while I game because I call myself not the best gamer and I make plenty of mistakes. So usually after I die in like a Fortnite game, I'll make fun of myself pretending to be a different character. And it's, I think, pretty unique content that you don't really see on Twitch. And that's kind of sort of the draw that I think people enjoy in my channel, because rarely do you see someone trying to take on the persona of someone else and then go back to their normal self during the stream.
Yeah.
And people really seem to enjoy it. And I can't really do that as well in any other genre other than Battle Royale. Like that.
Yeah.
It really fits that game type.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's funny to hear you say that because you're actually pretty good from what I've seen. But
well, I
mean,
mean,
you can make fun of yourself as well,
good?
which is the point. Better than me.
Good, though?
Better than me.
Better
That's
than
the
you,
point.
sure. But I play 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And when you compare me to someone that's like, you know, a ninja or a Tfue in Fortnite, like I'm like way down the list. And so I feel so below average that I do make the dumbest mistakes and I die all the time. So I make fun of that. And that sort of, not only does that keep me grounded, but it also I think makes people able to relate to me more, because when I do make fun of myself, I bring up very good points, because I'm a noob when it comes to PC gaming, because I've been playing Halo and Destiny 1 on PS4 and Xbox for 20 years. And recently I made the switch to PC gaming, and I make just the dumbest mistakes because I just don't have the muscle memory that I used to have with controllers. And I choke so hard, and it's so easy to make fun of myself because I make the dumbest decisions when I'm trying to do these things in these games, and people can really relate to that.
Yeah. That's great. I was just gonna say we need more of that on Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. What was your transition like? So you started off streaming Destiny, and then you decided I don't like Destiny 2 as much. I want to start branching out to other games. What was your transition like to being more variety?
So Destiny 1 year 3, you know, we're waiting for Destiny 2 to come out, and I knew Destiny 2 was going to be on PC. I think we knew that by early 2018. We knew that.
Yeah.
So I started playing a lot of. Well, I got a dual PC setup, which is I had a gaming PC and a stream PC, and I started playing PlayerUnknown Battleground just to get used to the whole idea of even trying to play PC gaming and keyboard and mouse. And I was terrible. And then GuardianCon rolled around, and that was like April. And then GuardianCon rolled around in 2018. I think it was in June or July. And Dr. Lupo came up and offered me a HoriTac Pro, which is a keypad that has a thumbstick on it, which was a great transition for me from controller to keyboard mouse. And I mapped the thumbstick on my left hand to WASD, so I'm able to use a mouse for aiming and then a thumbstick for movement, and then I have 25 buttons for just like a keyboard. And once I was able to use that after GuardianCon, I realized that's what I needed, because I could not get over the fact that a normal keyboard mouse setup, you use 3 fingers for movement. You always have to like sacrifice, if I want to click that button, I can't move left. I want to click that button, I can't move forward. This thumbstick allows me to always click buttons whenever.
Sure.
Yeah. And so PlayerUnknown Battleground until Destiny 2 came out. And then once Destiny 2 came out on PS4, I played that nonstop. I think I had a 32-hour stream when it first came out.
Wow.
And then we did. And then Leviathan Raid. And then finally came out on PC. I played it for probably 2 or 3 weeks. And then probably December 1st, I realized I couldn't keep out the grind. So I switched over to, I finally tried Fortnite.
Yeah.
And on like December 1st, 2018, and fell in love with the game. I regretted not having tried it earlier, because I absolutely loved it.
Awesome. In terms of like games though, looking before that, like what's your favorite game of all time? Do you have one?
Halo 2, 1v1.
Great answer.
Warlock, Carbine Start, or Human on Map.
I second that
Viso.
emotion.
So you've been.
I actually worked for that's the MLG settings for 1v1 back in like 2007, 2008, or 2006, 2007. I worked for MLG back in 2008 as
really?
Yeah, on the video on demand team.
Oh, that's
as a graphics coordinator.
everyone in the chat who's very young. What is that? This is like the days of pre-Twitch. MLG. They were
old.
like, they were like trying to pave the way for watching esports online as they happen, because it was like really grassroots tournament. Like they would happen in basements. People would bring setups and they were trying to broadcast it. So MLG had a video on demand team that you could like subscribe to and get footage of the tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, I was hired in 2008. I flew all over the country along with working my real job. So I could only do it a year before I realized that it was taking too much away from my real job. But it definitely started the spark to wanting to stream, because 3 or 4 years later, after I got married back in 2013, I was like, okay, now that I'm married, what's out there in the gaming world? Oh, Bungie's making a game. What's it called? Oh, Destiny. Okay, that's going to be cool. Streaming is really cool. I should try to get into that. And finally, the technology was there to actually pursue it, because back in 2007, 2008, you couldn't really stream as an individual because the technology, the hardware just wasn't up to speed yet. You had to have tens of $1,000s of equipment to even attempt it. And so
plus the upload speed.
You're right.
Right. It was so restricted, and there was no platforms for it. But by then it was finally available. So with Destiny coming out, I started to pursue it, and that's where I got the start.
Awesome. And then where does your name come from? I always ask that of guests. Is it safe for work?
That's a good sign.
Does Leopard still sound like a really cool name that you'd want to have?
Yeah.
Stealthy Leopard.
Yeah, no, not really. No.
Why not?
So
I like it.
So in the 1900s, I was referred to as RSF _ SWAT Cat, because that was like my 12-year-old name when I played Rogue Spear.
SWAT Cat in
6.
reference to the show SWAT Cats?
The Cartoon Network show
Dude,
SWAT
I'm liking
Cats,
you more
sure.
and more with each passing minute.
SWAT Cat, T-Bone and Razor, bro.
Yes, the Radical Squadron.
No,
Radical Squadron.
Only 2 seasons. Bring it back.
So my cousin was named T-Bone.
Yeah,
I was
SWAT
named
Cats.
SWAT Cats. It wasn't the same. But it was a great show. So in 1999, I was transitioning from middle school to high school. I thought SWAT Cats is lame. I need something cooler. High school mascot was Tiger. And I really needed an AOL Instant Messenger name, because that's where all the cool kids chatted to each other.
Of course.
And so I was like, okay, let me find a cool Tiger-related name. Tiger Power, taken. Tiger Strength, taken. Damn it. So I then tried Leopard Strength, available, but leopards aren't known for their strength. What are they known for? They're known for their stealth.
Yes.
Leopard Stealth, available, snagged it, and then
Rest is
from
history.
2000 on, I've been known as Leopard Stealth. So 19 years now, I am Leopard Stealth. I dropped Stealth for Twitch back in probably 2017. And hopefully, if I become popular enough, I can drop the Stealth on Twitter and Instagram or whatever else. But getting the name Leopard is pretty difficult on social media platforms in today's world.
Right.
It's got to be. That's cool, though. I like that. Maybe real fast as well. What off stream, just for playing games, if you do ever do that, or if you're looking forward to playing anything you want in the future, what are you looking forward to for games?
Off stream doesn't really happen for me because of, currently right now I'm trying to go full-time streamer, and so I'm trying to expose myself as much as possible. I'm trying to create as much content as I can. So
50 hours a week. You're playing a lot of Fortnite, a lot of, I assume, Apex and stuff like that.
Right. Saturday is my variety stream day, or variety game day. And lately I've done things like the Halo campaigns, Uncharted, Last of Us. Right now I'm doing the puzzle game Witness, which is free on the Epic Game Store. I'm like 200 puzzles in. Super loving that. But man,
Game's great.
Is it not exciting to watch it all? Someone staring like a screen of mazes,
at a bunch of colors,
to try to figure out what the hell's going on. But I love it. Like, I love those kind of games. If I were to play a game off stream, it'd probably be a single player game where people usually play it for the story experience. I've also done God of War. Whenever I don't stream and I play games in the living room with the kids, it's It's Witcher, which I know is
Nice.
Witcher 3, which is a terrible game.
What?
The kids
What?
around.
Oh, with
They're
kids.
not
There
looking
you
at
go.
the screen.
Here,
But
Junior
I'm
wants
sitting there-
daddy seduce this wench.
No, they're playing with toys, and I'm sitting there playing Witcher 3 up at the big screen on my gaming PC. But
Oh man.
that's
Don't
the
talk
only
about
game I
safe
play
for
on stream.
kids.
Statue's penis.
But what about like in the future though? Are you looking forward to anything like a new game? You're like, oh, if I could play anything, I just can't wait to play this.
I mean, I hate to ride the bandwagon, but right now it's Borderlands 3. I mean,
Of course.
There you go.
this is the Destiny Community Podcast. We're all about looter shooters.
No, that's right.
We've all I didn't get on the
bandwagon.
Borderlands. Tefty's been all about Borderlands 2 lately.
Love it.
So as far as Borderlands 2 is concerned, during the pre-Destiny 1, when I was waiting for it to come out, I was all in the Destiny Reddit, DTG, before Destiny 1 came out. And I was like, what is another looter shooter out there to play? And I started playing Borderlands 2 with my best friend. And I got into it super late. So that's like what, early 2014, mid 2014. And because I didn't get in on the early stages of Borderlands 2, I never got super into it. I didn't have people to play with. And so I only played like probably 30, 40 hours of it. I can see the draw of it. I can see how interesting the loot is in Borderlands 2. But I guess because I didn't have people to play with, I never stuck with it long enough. But I can see if I play Borderlands 3 right when it comes out, it'd probably be something that draws me in, like Division 2 has drawn me in, just because interesting loot makes or breaks a looter shooter. Like
It really does.
like with Anthem, I played 50 or 60 hours right when it first came out, and it killed me because the loot was just so meh. I couldn't find a reason to want to continue to play it. Whereas Division 2, I played a month or so after the Anthem came out, and I keep going back to it, and I can't stop going back into it.
Perfect segue, because I was going to ask you, you love looters, obviously, but are you playing Division 2? It sounds like you are. 1 out of 10. How's Division 2 feeling for you? Casual answer. You know, nobody's going to...
No, I give it a... I think I give it a 9 out of 10.
I'm putting that on Metacritic. Leopard Stealth.
The Leopard Stealth from AOL Instant Messenger is saying 9.
My favorite thing about Division
But
2
a 9.
is that they throw the best loot at you nonstop, which is really cool. They give you the high ends nonstop. Like you get high ends all the time, and then it's your job to try to make a bill out of it, to try to figure out what are you going for. Are you going for like a health steal? Are you going for max DPS? Are you going for just a tank? And I don't feel like you have that freedom in other looter shooters like Destiny or definitely not Anthem. And it's fun because when you kill something, there's the yellow drop that you've been searching for. Is it the one you want? Oh, maybe I'll save it for later. You don't know, because maybe later on you may use it for something else. And so you constantly get this feeling of like of a positive loot drop, whereas in like Destiny or Anthem, it sometimes it usually is not something you're looking for. Like right now in Destiny, I'm trying just grinding highlight. So I do a powerful reward activity, and it's not something that increases my light level. So I'm like, throw it away. I don't even care about it. I don't even care what the rolls are on it, because I just want a light level. That's it.
I realize that.
Whereas in Division, I don't care much about that.
Yeah, Division and Borderlands, because of how much loot is dropping all the time, I realize it's more like shopping for loot. And like, of course, you're not picking up or you're taking everything because there's just too much of it. But also, you're hunting for that special buy where you're like, oh my god, look what I found. It's like thrift shop hunting, going through and not knowing what's going to be in there. And when you find something really special, you're like, check out what I pulled. You're not going to believe this. Whereas Destiny is like, you're in a town with no shops half the time. And you're like, you're starved for that drop.
Which is weird though, Tefty, because I feel like Destiny had that. Like back in year 2 of Destiny 1, when everybody was looking for specific roles on a sniper rifle or on a hand cannon. Like in the past, Destiny has had
the tower would refresh every week, and that was like your shopping trip. Be like, let's see what's in the stores.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a great feeling.
Yeah.
This time, the only time you see that is when like a new big event will come out, like a raid, and there's like raid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like remember when Last Wish first came out, and then like you're like, oh, that guy's got the thing. What is that called again? Oh, the 1,000 voices. He's got one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, so it's still there, but like
a lot
it's
fewer
not,
and far
it's
between.
not always there. Yeah.
Because I definitely get that feeling. Like in Division, I've found myself overwhelmed with all the options. I'm like, I don't want to lose a build.
Too many.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to lose out on a build, but at the same time, you can't. You can't hoard all that stuff, and I have
your inventory
I obviously
is too
have
small
a
to hold
problem
everything.
with that in games that I play.
That's my only, I think Division 2 is amazing, but I think it's my only gripe is there's so much upkeep, and especially as a streamer. But even putting that aside, like it slows you down. You're like, I gotta like go through my stuff. Hold on, and it happens all the time for me. Like no matter how much I clear, because there's so many drops, it's this feeling of like, oh, it's a loathsome task to like make sure you don't get rid of like a sweet roll. Because like I actually have an LMG that's really good, and I've not got that roll ever since. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, and that's why I end up holding on to it too much, and I get like I get paralysis from too much loot because I don't want to like get rid of something.
Right, but doesn't that bother you about the game that you feel like you're constantly in maintenance after you run like several missions and strongholds, and then you're like, I gotta go through my stuff.
I think Destiny's always turned into like, if you're really hardcore about it, it turns into like an inventory simulator 2000, where you're just like trying to figure out what you want and what you don't want, and that becomes like 50% of the game rather than just shooting stuff in the head. You're just sitting around in dim trying to figure out what to delete and what not to delete.
Yeah, but I found some relief in looking back on Destiny. I was like, oh, it's way easier than Division 2 to make a decision. I'm like, I'm trying to hold on to everything because as much as you can like move stuff around, because things don't sort of drop with a certain like predictability, you're not sure what you have until you really sit down and like really compare. And there's no easy way to be like, oh, this steady hand, do I actually have one of those on an LMG? Like, I don't know, give me a few to go through 100 items, but anyway,
I also like that though, even though it causes some loot paralysis for me, where I'm like, guys, I can't do this on stream. I have to do this off stream because I feel like this is going to be a really boring 1 hour.
Have you ever thought about letting stream do it for you?
No, that sounds bad.
No way.
Hell no. Oh my god, that sounds like my nightmare.
I'm sorry, chat. It's never going to happen.
Oh Lord, no.
But I do like the fact that it actually forces you to learn. To learn the ropes of the sandbox, because that's, for me, looter shooters, that's like 50% of it is like understanding the game.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, obviously, some of the best players, the best min-maxers, they're the ones who are good and I guess efficient at it. But I can't wrap my head around it sometimes. Like, it just feels like a task. But I get really panicky when the screen is still and I'm streaming though. So that's just me. I'm like, I can't even like think straight. I'm like, I just gotta do something. But you can't. You're paralyzed, like you said. Yeah. Anyway, back to Leopard.
Streaming is easy though.
Is it? You find it easy?
No work. All you do is
it's easy.
play a game.
60 hours a week over
Everybody
here.
can do it.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's actually mentally exhausting, right? It's fun, but
It's physically
mentally
exhausting too.
Yeah, in different ways.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't give it up, right? I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but
No, of course not.
After you finish a
Depends
session,
on
you're
the
like,
day.
yeah. I always describe.
Most
Actually, I'd be
times.
curious. Let's go around real fast, unless you want to pass on the question. But how would you describe streaming to someone who hasn't and doing it, a lot, and sort of the feeling of it? And I'll give you my example. I always describe to people that it's like sitting down and I'm eating, but there's people at the window and they're like looking at you while you're eating, and they're sort of like, they're even like, you can hear them through the window, and they're like, I don't know, man. Why don't you order this and blah blah.
No ketchup,
but
bro.
That's how it feels to me. But it's not just sitting down for a nice meal. It doesn't matter how good the meal is. They're literally right there. But like Leopard, do you have those kinds of feelings or?
No, I do all the time. You're just doing your thing, and people shit on you all the time. And you're like, well, but I'm just doing my thing, and then you're like, well,
right.
Okay, but I'm just trying to have fun. Let's, and then people just come in, and you're like, oh, ban. Especially when you play Fortnite. I call Fortnite daycare.
Wow.
Because you're constantly taking care of 12-year-olds. I mean, it's a great solution if you can't afford daycare to just send your kids over to twitch.tv/anyone streaming Fortnite, and you can just have your kid be distracted by Fortnite streams all day. No, it's people don't understand when you do it all day every day. it's not what you think it is, and it's
Yeah.
I agree. It's people looking at you and making comments on what you're doing all the time, and it gets to the point where you miss just gaming for the sake of gaming, because now it's something. There's like that extra element, and you don't want it. You don't want the extra element to affect what you're doing in the game, but it does.
There's a problem. There's a problem anytime that you try and make a hobby a profession, where you can actually ruin your enjoyment of the hobby.
That's true.
Like, it is very true. Like you can look at any hobby and people who have made it a profession, and they'll say, I never do this unless I'm getting paid for it anymore. Like, it's not my hobby anymore. It's just my job. And you ruin that hobby for yourself. Like, I used to play golf with a bunch of guys who then went on to, teach golf. They don't play golf anymore. They only teach golf.
Yep.
I think the same is true with a lot of streamers. The other side of that, though, is with streaming, is that I don't find games as enjoyable when I'm not streaming as I used to.
Huh.
Like having the chat a lot of times feels like I have a bunch of friends sitting on the couch next to me and we're enjoying a game together. And when I'm playing a video game by myself, I don't have anybody to share that experience with and it feels kind of lonely.
Mm-hmm.
What a great you've mastered it then. I'm always panicking. I mean, you would never tell, but meaning for me it's actually the outside of the backseat gaming, which is really tough for anybody to, ignore, and you ignore a lot of it. Even if you just miss something, you're like, well, I know, but the way you're saying it makes it sound like you think I'm an idiot. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, I ran by an item. But you process so much information as a streamer that, mentally it can be taxing, I think, on a lot of people.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Especially when you're an introvert.
Yeah, I was going to say,
right?
it's a weird thing, because in order to want to stream and to keep doing it, you have to be both introverted and extroverted at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's already a weird juxtaposition to put on a personality.
Right.
Right? Because every day, some days you want to be by yourself. And
Tefty, where are you at on the introverted, extroverted?
It depends on the day, because sometimes I'm really introverted. I'm a musician, so I have those internal creative desires that sometimes I just don't want to share anything because I want to be introverted, and some days I want to be super social. So depending on the day, it can be really awkward for me sometimes, where I'm like, well, I should hit that live button, but today I might feel a little more introverted. It's weird. But I was gonna say, in terms of mental exhaustion, for somebody who hasn't streamed, it could be like, don't take this the wrong way from what talking during movies, but imagine if every time you watched a movie, you were also explaining your thoughts about what's going on during the movie while processing and watching the movie and having the story unfold.
Like my wife.
I mean, that can happen too. Yeah, Names likes to talk a lot, and I every time I'm like, babe, we cannot talk during this
really
show.
Interesting one.
Has to be quiet right now.
Sometimes people don't realize how difficult it is. I'll be streaming PvP and I'll make a total boneheaded play. I'll go into a room in what territories? What is it? Control.
Yeah,
brain fart there. Control in Destiny. I'll go in and there'll be an enemy on the territory, and I'll just think that it's like a teammate, and I'll stand next to him on the territory, because you're doing 10 things at once.
I've done that.
You're DMing your mods. You're talking about the TWAB or whatever.
Sometimes you have to monitor a conversation that you don't necessarily want to jump into, but you have to make sure something weird isn't going on.
And the guy shotguns me in the face, and my chat is like, Fallout, are you literally a potato? You make PvP videos on YouTube. It's you don't understand. It's 10, and you're spinning 10 plates on sticks,
That's where it gets hard to do your job, where you're like, I know, I'm just gonna ignore it, because they don't know what you know, it's very different. But I think it goes without saying, we all love doing it and are privileged for any one person that wants to tune in and watch.
100%.
I just thought it was interesting, and the reason I asked it is I know, Tefty, you do a ton. I forget how much Briar and Fallout do, but you're doing almost 60 hours or 50 plus hours a week, Leopard, streaming consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, Teft, you're in there somewhere too. I've asked. It's a ton, man.
I will say though that before I was doing, working a 45 hour a week job and then trying to stream 20 to 30 hours a week. Yeah. So this is definitely
feels a lot different now.
Quote unquote easier, but it's
still busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But but anyway, I I'd have a lot more questions, I think, for Leopard, but I know we want to talk Destiny, so I'd throw it
Yeah, we
back
got to talk some
to you.
Destiny for sure.